We are live. We are live. Welcome to college football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please subscribe to our ever-growing channel. Smash the like button if you like our content. Share the video with your family and friends. If you want to support this Rebel Outpost College Football YouTube channel with a super chat, just hit the $sign, make a comment, and I'll get to it as fast as possible. Welcome into the studio that sits on the corner of Keith Jackson Parkway and Kurt Gowdy Avenue. Do not be afraid. PATC community, do not be afraid to be a legend with your comments in the chat room and with your phone calls later in the show. It is absolutely freezing in the studio. It's freezing outside. Welcome. I'm very fortunate that anybody is paying attention to anything this morning as it's freezing across the country. Of course, here in Minnesota as well. Thanks for everybody coming on in. Tad Evans. Boom. Mr. Washington Husky, PATC community. Thank you for your super chat. Thank you for your continued generosity to this channel, Mr. Evans. Word is either Chris Klieman or Lance Leipold. They are on deck. They are in the batter. There are, what do they call that? On deck and in the hole. On deck and in the hole. We don't think they're in the batter's box. But we do think a Big 12 school is losing their head football coach today. I'm just going to hit upon it right away. And then I want to back up here. I want to back up and talk about the Kalen DeBoer information that we received. It's the same type of thing that we're hearing today on Jed Fisch. We actually heard it about 21 hours ago. Exactly 21 hours ago. 3 minutes off. Exactly 21 hours ago. We got to take a step back here. Kalen DeBoer, when we came out and said that he was the chalk, there was no done deal. It wasn't a done deal, but we told you as much as we could at the time, and then the next day we really said this is the guy, right? Then the announcement came. Kalen DeBoer was the number one target for Alabama. For those who knew, for those that Alabama believed, they knew who had interest in the job. There's a lot of going back and forth on websites, message boards, X, formerly known as Twitter. Yeah, our coach, he got the call from Alabama. My coach got the call from Alabama. Yeah, a lot of coaches got the call from Alabama. When you need and make a quick, because the calendar is forcing you to, when you need to make a quick hire, you cast a wide net quickly. When you have a long runway for a coaching search, you can start relatively small and then branch it out. But when you need a quick decision, you cast it, you call, you get the agent on the phone, you cast a wide net. Alabama called Dabble Sweeney's agent. They're all the same agent. Yes, Alabama had all these guys listed, most of them listed that you saw reported. The calls were made. Yes, Mike Norvell was in the mix, but it was Kalen DeBoer that was target number one. It was Kalen DeBoer. And it should be obvious to everybody. We had reasons to believe yesterday that it's Jed Fisch. Remember, Friday, I don't know when we did our live show on Friday, but I said we've only got one piece of information for everybody in the PATC community. Jed Fisch, it's not going to be this particular job at this particular time. Remember when we said that? That's the only information that we had. That was Friday. Saturday, I posted this 1:39 p.m. yesterday afternoon on Twitter. Well, how the turntables have turned. It completely flipped. I was not able to go into anything more than that. But at this time, yesterday, Saturday, no, Jed Fisch, there is signs that he is interested in the job and Washington is interested in him. Then, this morning, there people, not just me, certain people out there believe Jed Fisch is target number one and that he's still interested, and yet the talks haven't stopped, the negotiations are ongoing, nobody has turned each other down. There are other Big 12 coaches that are on deck and in the hole. One of them being Chris Klieman, another one being Lance Leipold. The Lance Leipold situation is interesting because both Chris Klieman and Lance Leipold situation is interesting because they both actually want to be where they are. They both actually want to stay where they are. So I don't think, while they have a level of interest, possibly, we're not in the room. We're just being told what people, serious people, are telling us. There is that. It doesn't mean that Jed Fisch doesn't like being where he's at. He loves his quarterback, obviously. What an incredible job Jed Fisch has done. It isn't that Arizona has fallen in love with Jed Fisch. Obviously, he loves being there. But it sounds like he's willing to make the jump more than a Chris Klieman, more than Lance Leipold. This is what Jed Fisch has done so far at Arizona. 1-11, 2021. 5-7, 2022. Last year, 10-3, won the Alamo Bowl. And Arizona in these way too early polls and all these projections, I mean, they're being picked to win the new Big 12 next year. Utah, Kansas State right behind them. West Virginia, Oklahoma State. But they're being picked to win the Big 12 right now. I mean, that could change, especially with the new head coach. But that's Jed Fisch. They're ready to rock and roll this year at Arizona. Big, high expectations. But we definitely got the word. It completely flipped. Friday, the only thing we were told that Jed Fisch, that's not going to happen. But then Saturday afternoon, early afternoon, everything changed. They are talking. Jed Fisch and Washington are talking. They're both interested. Can they get a deal done? Don't know. We're not in the room, but he's the chalk. He's the favorite to become the new Washington head football coach. Not a done deal. Not in any way. Not in any form. We're going to be following it here during the live show. We're going to be following after the live show. We might have to do, we'll have to do another live show later tonight. We do think it gets wrapped up today. Here is Jed Fisch. He grew up in New Jersey. Of course, we all know he graduated from the University of Florida. A lot of people believe he'll be the Florida head football coach at some point, that maybe he's waiting for the job. Maybe he's waiting for the position. I'll get back to that in a second. Annual salary, $2.6 million. You see all the jobs he's had. He's had a lot of different jobs. Minnesota Golden Gophers offensive coordinator for 1 year. Michigan 2015-2016 quarterback coach, receiving coach. He spent a little bit of time in the Midwest. He has been all over the place. And he's had an incredibly successful stint so far at Arizona. Where Arizona football program was when he came in to where it is now, that is a massive leap. A massive leap. Let me get to your let me thank everybody who's come in early on this show. Sunday morning, everybody's freezing. Thank you, Laura Weiss. Texas Tech Red Raider. Garrett Guerin, in that tweet a few minutes ago, a hint. Yes, Gene Calderon, thanks for coming on in. 12 Duck 72 is coming on in. Tim Bayless, thank you. Appreciate it. Jay Chapman, will the Wildcats hire a coach from the Big 12? It's looking like it. Grubb is coming home. Immaculate early peak member. Could Grubb be going to Iowa City? If that happens, Iowa City will be having a parade in the freezing cold, in all that snow that they've been getting down in Iowa. Holy smokes. A parade for Grubb? Could it be happening? Scott P., which team is losing their coach? Arizona, apparently, it's the Chalk. There's no question about it. It's the Chalk. Deal's not done. Greg, the walk-in freezer. It's -8 here in Kansas City. Holy smokes. Ted Evans says, I'll take Jed. 0 degrees in Oklahoma. 18 in Nashville. No global warming where I live. If UW gets Fisch, they will be scary in a few years. Immaculate says, huge parade. Mr. Monkey says, I'd be very surprised if Leipold went to Washington. Lance Leipold is definitely not the Chalk in this situation. It is Jed Fisch. And, of course, this is the complete turnaround from what we said on Friday. But once we started poking and prodding on Saturday, it was, whoa! It's Jed Fisch. That's the Chalk. And it's still the Chalk right now, this early morning or later morning, Sunday, January 14th. We think it's going to happen today. Sometime today. If it ain't Jed Fisch, if that doesn't work, then they're going to go. Then I think Kansas and Kansas State's going to have to start thinking about what might just happen. One other thing. On a early peak episode, Cloak and Dagger episode, a few episodes ago, we gave the information that we did not think Cameron Ward was going to go to the NFL. We were told he's not going to go to Florida State, that Miami Hurricanes was the spot that he was going to go to. We did that in an early peak episode for early peak members. And then it came out that Cameron Ward's going to the NFL draft. So what did we do here at Peek Around the Corner? I started my next live show taking the big fat L. The fat guy from Minnesota taking the big fat L on Cameron Ward. We said we were wrong. We were told look, Cameron Ward, it would be better if he went back to college. He's got to clean it up. He's got to clean his work up in the pocket. Stays in there way too long. Holds the football too low. Too many fumbles. He should be going back another year, but he decided to go into the NFL. So we took the L. Well, we're taking the L back. Cameron Ward committed to Miami. He transferred out of the NFL draft, and he's going to the Miami Hurricanes. Now, we think this is a good move for Cameron Ward. Hopefully, Miami's the right spot for him. I know that Cameron Ward, or somebody representing Cameron Ward, said to the effect of, we got a second, third round grade, so we think we're a first round type of talent, so we're coming back. I guess maybe he got a third round grade. I'd be surprised if he got a second round grade. But either way, this is the right move. This is the right move. Hopefully it works out for Cameron Ward at Miami. I'm a little worried about the spot he landed in, but I think it's the right spot. So we are retracting. Peek Around the Corner is retracting that L. Just officially let you know. Officially let you know. We're going to open up the phone lines here. We're not going to waste any more time. We could not come on. We couldn't do much yesterday. We couldn't come on live. The only thing I felt comfortable was putting out this, once again, this tweet, because it was the complete reversal. The tables turned on Peek Around the Corner. It was Jed Fisch was not interested in this job. Suddenly, yes, no, he is interested in the Washington job. We were told that early afternoon yesterday, and this is all that we could do. But now we have the freedom to say more. We believe that Jed Fisch is the chalk to become the new Washington Huskies head football coach. Now, we just retracted that L, right, from Cameron Ward. But now maybe we're going to get the big fat L today, maybe even during this live show. So keep your head on a swivel. Any reports, let us know. The phone number is 763-260-1333, 763-260-1333. Let us know how we got it all wrong again. That Jed Fisch is not the chalk. That Washington is not interested in Jed Fisch. Jed Fisch is not interested in Washington. Let us know that it's going to be Lance Leipold, Chris Klieman, or Jason Candle. We did get I did get a DM from a PATC community member on Toledo believing that Jason Candle is the new head coach of Washington. I will say that I will say, hold on a second. Live television. Yeah. Got a little bit more confirmation that Fisch is the chalk. The chalk. The chalk. He's a favorite. It's not a done deal. It might fall through. So, but I'm going to take the L anyways if it does fall through. So we'll see. Keep your head on a swivel. Just trying to getting a lot of stuff here. Yeah, give us a call. 763-260-1333. John Teal, thank you for the super chat. Washington should look at Ohio State's wide receiver coach. We don't think they have. Again, they've cast the wide net, right? I mean, you have a short time period. You've got to line them up. You got to line up your targets. You got to go through them quickly. You have to have multiple conversations going at the same time. It's foot to the gas pedal, no brakes, because timing, quickness is all important. It's all important. Ted Evans, he holds the ball too long. Seen many of his games. He's great, yeah. Cameron Ward just has to clean it up just a little bit. Just make a little bit of a change. Develop just a little bit more. And if he does that, he can be a first-round draft pick in the spring of 2025. Write the line, hit the like button. Absolutely. I absolutely agree. Fisch quarterback to Washington. I want all the NIL. Yeah, I don't know. Fafita, would he move with? I don't know. With the quarterback of Arizona, Fafita, would he move with Fisch to Washington? If it happens. Maybe the quarterback changed his mind and said he would go, so Fisch changed his mind. We might have just gotten the information wrong, Immaculate. I don't think Fisch, I'm thinking Fisch did not change his mind. I'm thinking that Friday we were told something, but then poking and prodding Saturday morning into the afternoon, it was like, no. It's wrong. He is interested. Will he take it? We'll find out, I think, today. I think today is movement day. We're talking about Sunday, golf tournament. Sunday is movement. No, Saturday is movement day. Forget what I'm saying. Sunday is judgment day. How about that? Sunday is Judgment Day. I think it happens today. You got a tax return on that L for Cameron Ward. Yes, yeah. We're taking that L back. We're taking that L back, but we might be replacing it. No way is Grubbs staying after not being considered. Yeah, Grubb is not going to be at Washington next year. Washington is going for a Power 5, or if you want to call it an autonomous 4 head coach, current head coach. That's what Washington's going for. So the names on the list are Jed Fisch, Lance Leipold, Chris Klieman. Those basically are your names. And we believe Jed Fisch is the chalk. If Miami doesn't win 9 games, I think Mario should be out. Right of the line, Miami is where quarterbacks go to die. Ryan Brooks, Grubb is interesting. Would he stay after being passed over? Would he go to Bama or elsewhere? Another college football story in regards to Jim Harbaugh. Early peak episode for members only. We did a episode 14 or 13 in regards to Jim Harbaugh. We said that we were told that Jim Harbaugh's number 1 spot to land in the NFL is the Raiders, Las Vegas Raiders, not the Chargers. And Washington was basically out. That it was the Raiders. Then yesterday we did an early peak episode talking about some information on North Carolina Chancellor, who's just started his job on Friday, January 12th. We talked a little bit about Jimmy Harbaugh, that the Davis extended family, reported by Tom Pelissero, is putting a lot of pressure on Vegas to hire interim head coach Antonio Pierce. And that if Vegas goes away as an opportunity for Jim Harbaugh, then maybe it swings back to the Chargers. When now there's reports that Antonio Pierce is going to get interviews with other coaching jobs. So does Las Vegas. We were told Vegas was the number 1 spot for Jim Harbaugh if he makes the leap to the NFL, because the Davis clan was going to give him the most power to direct his own general manager, to decide the front office and all that goes with it. That Vegas was going to give him that Chargers were not going to give him that. So we'll see. Again, give us a call, 763-260-1333. Heartline is going nowhere. Gerald Jones. If you want to be a member, if you want to become a member of Early Peak Cloak and Dagger, $4.99 a month. This is episodes that we drop from a couple times a week, giving you the first peek at information surrounding college football. Hit the join button. Now, for Arizona Wildcats. Look, Jed Fisch, 1-11, 5-7, 10-3. Not just 10-3 though, 10-3, and they were coming on strong. 10-3, and they're ready to go next year. Here, 2024. 10-3, and they are the favorites right now to win the new Big 12. It would be a devastating blow for Arizona to lose Jed Fisch. Jed Fisch has a lot to come back to. He has a lot to come back to with that program, with that football team. The fan base is all riled up. But this is what T-Duck said. Cam Ward never submitted for an NFL grade. I think according to him, he made a comment that he did. Or somebody around him. But I think it was Cameron Ward himself, if I remember it correctly. Kellen Moore, keep your eye open on Kellen Moore. Mr. Offensive Coordinator. Ryan Brooks, early peak member. Arizona goes from playoffs, hoping for the playoffs, and hoping for a bowl game in a couple of days. Again, I'm not rooting against Arizona. I hope it works out. Again, it's not a done deal. Not a done deal as far as we know. He's the chalk.
Call from
Immaculate.
Immaculate, Mr. Hawkeye, the floor is yours.
How you doing this morning, Greg?
Doing good. We had to on Friday, you were with us. I said the only information we had is it's not Jed Fisch. He's not interested. Suddenly Saturday afternoon, it was whoa. So see what happens today. But I think it's going to happen today. Whatever happens, it happens today. What do you think, sir?
A little surprised. I was honestly thinking that he might, use this year with Arizona, inaugural season of the new Big 12, go in there, possibly win it, get into the tournament, kind of solidify his name.
Yeah.
'Cause he's got a good name, of course, but I just thought that he would kind of finish what he was starting and really get that big win under his belt and maybe then go to Florida next year or something. But, maybe they're just offering him money and, he could bring a quarterback and UW is going to have a problem there. So that might be the thing. And if we saw $9 million offered to DeBoer there, are they willing to give that to Fisch? That would be like he was making $2 million at Arizona?
2.6.
That's a lot of money to turn down.
What do you think Washington would be offering Jed Fisch?
Well, that's what they offered DeBoer was $9 million.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that they're going to offer Fisch that, but even if it was
6, maybe
6 to 8, I mean that's 3 to 4 times what he's making now. I mean
that's a lot of money.
And even though things are looking good for them going into the Big 12, you never know. You never know who's going to get hurt. You never know what could happen to a season. So if he's looking at getting a 3 to 4 times pay increase, that's pretty tough to pass up. So maybe you were right all along, and he wasn't all that interested. And then they were like, okay, how about this number?
Yeah.
And
I don't know. I think right now I'm assuming that we were wrong on Friday. We just didn't, because everything just happened, right? And we went with the first thing we were told. Said that's the only thing we know. But then as we poked and prodded, things changed on us yesterday. But we couldn't talk about it until today. So I was going to ask you something and I forgot. Shoot.
You're probably going to ask me about all the rumors about a certain coach at Iowa going to Alabama.
No. What's that?
Word is that Alabama's interested in our DC.
Oh, jeez. Are you serious? Parker?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Where is this being, in anywhere particular this is being said, or?
You can find it with some Alabama folks on Twitter. I did have someone reach out to me and ask me my thoughts on it. And I really couldn't say that it's absolutely not a possibility, but I don't think it would happen this year because of all the guys that are coming back. But it also kind of feels like because so many of them are coming back when they could go to the pros, that this kind of feels like that last final ride type of situation.
Yeah.
So many guys are coming back. The only one that really said no was Dijon.
Wow.
So, if this is Ferentz's last season, if he's going to retire after it, Ferentz and Saban have connection.
Yeah.
I can't say that next year it's not a possibility. This year, I'm pretty strongly, I don't think it would be the case.
Yeah.
But if Ferentz retires after this season and Parker's not ready to hang it up, Ferentz might be like, go get your ring.
Yeah.
And that worries me a lot for next year. Because then we're in full rebuild.
Yeah.
Like full.
Yeah. Now Iowa's defense is absolutely stacked for this year. Just like they were last year. But they're all coming back, almost all of them.
Oh, God.
It's
that's why I say to everyone talking about, we got this and that and the transfer and all that. Like all you got to do is look at what Iowa got to come back. And it's not just on defense. I mean, they got Lachey to come back on tight end.
Mm.
And so with Ostrenga and him as tight ends bookending that line, hopefully the line's better next year. We'll see. I think now it's going to be very important to see who they bring in as offensive coordinator. If it's someone that could possibly take over next year as like a head coach, then they might be preparing for it already because the way things went down in Iowa City, I wouldn't have been shocked if Ferentz initially wanted to do exactly what Saban is doing at Alabama, try and become kind of like the general manager, position in between the AD and the football team and have his son running the team. And that just didn't work out. I mean, it even cost the last AD his job basically. So I don't know, but yeah, that's kind of what I've seen and heard, and nothing from the Iowa side. I have no idea.
Yeah. Front runner 3R in the comments section. The Arizona Board of Regents would need to approve Fisch's contract. However, the next Arizona Board of Regents meeting is set for February 21st, but the University of Arizona is pushing for a special session on January 25th, according to Spears and Lev. Thank you for that comment, front runner. Now, Arizona does have some financial issues. The university that are, of course, affecting the athletic department somewhat. But I gotta believe that Jed Fisch, that they would up his pay to $6 million, whatever, $6+ million after what he's done so far for 3 years. So, again, it would be one of these things where is Jed Fisch, he wants to make the move into the Big Ten, or SEC. Is that his future plan? Wants to jump in. Washington's the opportunity right now. It sounds like all of that is part of it. But Arizona is in a tough financial spot right now. But I don't think that would play a part in Fisch not being able to get the money. Arizona's going to belly up to the bar for Jed Fisch, don't you think?
For him, but what's their capability for filling out the full coaching staff? I mean, do you want to have your offensive and defensive coordinators be paid well as well, so that way they're not getting poached away for a lateral move? And maybe that's where there's some problem. Like, we can give you money. Well, we're not quite sure about the full staff though. And that could cause a change because Washington could not just pay him an increase, but probably also his whatever coaches he wants.
Yeah.
So, and with the new, the new transfer rule, I mean, he could he could take quite a few of those players with him. And with a young quarterback, these days, I mean, it's a different ball game. I mean, it used to be you might be able to get a couple guys to go with or whatever, but now you could. Who knows how many you could take? I mean, especially if Washington's losing a whole bunch of guys, and people are like, well, what are they going to do? Well, you're bringing in a coach that can bring in, all the players to replace those lost positions. So, if you're going to get a pay increase, you're going to get a facilities increase, you're going to move up to that next level of football. Maybe that's the spot you go with. I don't know. Like I said, it's not what I would have thought he would have done, but if they're offering that, I kind of admit that's got to be enticing.
Yeah. All righty, man.
That's my take on it, and thought you might be interested in that little cooking going on where Alabama's.
Yeah.
I wouldn't blame them for wanting to do it. I mean, it wouldn't be the first, but with what's going on at Iowa City kind of changing things, there might be the ability to maybe get him next year. We'll see.
Yeah. All right, man. Appreciate it.
Have a good day.
Thank
We'll
you,
talk to you
Mr.
later.
Hawkeye. Ryan Brooks, early peak member, trying to get him a raise in 2 weeks won't affect his decision today. Absolutely correct. As we know, it was reported yesterday by Ryan Grubb himself on his X account. Husky Nation, this is a message from Ryan Grubb, the great offensive coordinator, who could have went to Alabama last year. He was offered by Nick Saban, decided to run it back one more year at Washington. This was his comment to Husky Nation. Possible, not probable. The vision coming to Seattle was clear. What wasn't was how this family would come together and have the experience of a lifetime. Nothing will change that. This is all love. Though I wanted to be, I will not be the next head coach at the University of Washington. Though I wanted to be, I will not be the next head coach at the University of Washington. So it was Washington that took his name off the list. Washington, as we found out early yesterday afternoon, they have their target list already way on schedule. A lot of talking, negotiating. We think the announcement's going to happen today. That's what we were told at Peek Around the Corner. We believe the chalk is Jed Fisch, Lance Leipold, Chris Klieman on deck in the hole. And I think, so basically Washington was in a position to say, thank you. Now remember, the new athletic director at Washington, he did not hire Kalen DeBoer, wasn't the one that was in the position when Ryan Grubb came with Kalen DeBoer. Ryan Grubb has followed Kalen DeBoer everywhere. But right here, it said, though I wanted to be. So Ryan Grubb look, I want to be the head coach, but he's not going to be. It would have been a dream to stay here and fight to maintain the standard that had been reestablished. I showed up every day early, stayed late gladly to fight for my family, and with tears in my eyes, I know my last day in Husky Stadium has come. This program has blessed me with mentors like Jen Cohen and Chris Peterson. Jen Cohen is the one who hired the Washington football coaching staff that brought this program all the way to the championship game, Pac-12 championship. I leave blessed with their friendship. Seattle is the best. Husky fans are the best, even the ones that hate me sometimes. I know I was far from perfect, but I know I sacrificed all that I could to bring our best every week. The passion and love this city has is rare. And I'm so blessed to have been here. Thank you for all the support and belief you gave to me and my family. We will always love Seattle. To my players, I'm sorry I could not finish the fight. I love you. Go Dogs, Coach Grubb. Highly emotional field post from the great offensive coordinator to Husky Nation. He loved Seattle. He loved the program. The PATC money shot of this posting is, though I wanted to be, I will not be the next head coach at the University of Washington. Though I wanted to be, I will not be. And we believe here at Peek Around the Corner, we have reasons to believe that at that point in time, because we were told, and they've got their target list. Grubb doesn't have to be on the list. He's not on the list. They've got their target list. They've received enough interest from the target list, and now negotiations are on. Negotiations are on. We'll see what happens. We're going to find out today, I believe. One downside of Grubb is he won't have had staff baked in. That's a great comment, Ted. That's a great comment. One of the big leaps is when you hire a very successful defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator, is what type of staffs are they going to be able to build? That's always the question. That's why at least you used to see this. Not so much now, but you used to see retread coaches. Head coaches that have coached at a program, 500 record, whatever. They lose their job or whatever. They walk away. They get fired. Then they get hired for another job, head coaching job, at the same basic level of college football program. Because there's a belief that they'll be able to bring, at least they have a Rolodex of names, they'll be able to bring a staff in, a decent staff. You don't know about that when you elevate an offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator. Where Ryan Grubb goes next, very interesting. John Teal, if this doesn't work out today, thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. I think it's happening today. I believe Washington believes it's going to happen today. That seems to be the perception. I think if it doesn't work out with Jed Fisch, it's going to go to number 2, number 3, number 4. And I think it's going to get done. We think it's going to get done. Washington thinks it's going to get done. Washington is not rolling in the cash like that. Phone lines are open, 763-260-1333. Could Chris Peterson get his boy Kellen Moore with the job? I don't think so. We have not heard that. We have not heard Kellen Moore. We have not heard Kellen Moore. The name we are hearing is Jed Fisch, Chris Klieman, Lance Leipold, with Jed Fisch being the definite chalk. So we are waiting. We're waiting to see if it can happen, if it does happen. Isaiah Bond, breaking news. Very good wide receiver from Alabama. Caught about 40-some passes, 47, 48. Just starting to get lathered up as the season went on. A developing wide receiver. He just committed. Where is Isaiah Bond going? To the Texas Longhorns. Big pickup. Quinn Ewers, Xavier Worthy. Holy smokes. Isaiah Bond going to the Texas Longhorns. That's a big get. Big get for Texas. I tell you, when we all do our way too early expanded 12-team playoffs, you're going to have to put Texas in there, even though they're making the jump into the SEC, right? It's going to be Georgia, it's going to be Texas, it's going to be Missouri, it's going to be LSU. Those are the 4 teams, with Ole Miss, maybe 5, that are going to be battling out. There's going to be at least 3 or 4 SEC teams that make the playoffs. Texas is going to be up there. Georgia's going to be up there. Missouri's definitely going to be up there. The eyes of Texas are upon you. The Texas Longhorns. You know what? That reminds me of, although they're different wide receivers, but that pickup of Isaiah Bond for Texas, that kind of reminds me when Florida State got Keontae Coleman from Michigan State. When they got Coleman, it was like, okay, that is the last. They filled that spot up, going with Johnny Wilson and all those, and the great tight end and Benson and everything. That addition of Coleman was, okay, that pushed Florida State over the top offensively. Texas getting Isaiah Bond, I had the same feeling with that, right? It's like that is, Texas needed one more addition. They just got it. Again, phone lines are open, 763-260-133. Big breaking news on Isaiah Bond. Big news. And then we had the breaking news that we reported earlier. Cameron Ward to Miami. He transferred out of the NFL draft to Miami. Think that's it's a good move not to go into the NFL draft, but I am not particularly, I don't know if Miami's the right spot for Cameron Ward. And it's not just about Mario Cristobal. It's about the wide receiver room. They just lost Colby Jones. I don't know I don't know if it's going to work out. I don't know if it's going to work out for Cameron Ward. I'm rooting for the guy, though. I'm rooting for him. But I have Miami's a career killer. But, guys, it only takes one successful. I want to check something out here. So this is Miami's schedule next year, okay? A lot of the dates have not been determined. We are actually going to let me check something out. I believe we're supposed to get the, didn't Jim Phillips, the ACC commissioner, say that we're supposed to get the date, that the full ACC schedules sometime late January with the dates included? I don't think we've seen that yet. I thought it was going to happen in late January. But anyways, these are the teams that Miami plays. Not in order, but at Florida, obviously Florida A&M, Rattlers, Ball State, UCF. They have that ACC game, California, Georgia Tech, at Louisville, Duke, Florida State, Virginia Tech, Wake Forest, Syracuse. So those are the teams they play. If not Miami for Ward, then who is LSU open? LSU's definitely not open. There's not many really jobs that are open. And Cameron Ward spent the time at Miami and at Florida State. And DJ Ungale in Florida State's they've already made that deal. So DJ Ungale is going to be the quarterback of Florida State. So Miami's the spot. I just hope it works out for him. Let's take a look at what other people are saying in regards to who is the candidates for the Washington job. The Seattle Times. Let's take a look at the Seattle Times. This was yesterday. Troy Dannon, the new Washington athletic director. Jed Fisch, Arizona head coach. Fisch is another attractive candidate to replace DeBoer after lifting the Wildcats program out of the depths of the Kevin Sumlin era. After going 1-11 in his first season, the Wildcats improved to 5-7 in Fisch's second season at the helm. In 2023, the Wildcats finished 10-3 after beating Oklahoma in the Alamo Bowl, the squad's first bowl game appearance since 2017. There's Jed Fisch. We talked about it. It wasn't just that Arizona finished 10-3. First bowl win since 2017. Out of the depths of the Kevin Sumlin era. It's what Arizona was doing by the end of the season. Every 3 months, right? I mean, look at it. Look at what Jed Fisch has done since he walked in to Arizona head coach job. Every 3-4 months, Arizona football program is making a jump. First year, they were 1-11. Second year, they go 5-7. This year, they just kept getting better and better and better and better. And now next year, they're ready to go. It's very difficult, I believe, for Jed Fisch to leave that type of situation. But we've got him as the chalk to become the new head football coach of Washington because we were told he was definitely interested. Early Saturday afternoon, he seems to be the number one target. He is the number one target, as we've been told. We'll find out. Fisch has a Seattle connection already, having been the Seattle's quarterback coach in Pete Carroll's debut season in Seattle in 2010, and was the offensive coordinator from Minnesota, Miami, and Jacksonville in the NFL. He was most recently a senior offensive assistant for the Los Angeles Rams in 2018, 2019, and the New England Patriots quarterbacks coach in 2020. If the Huskies want someone with lots of experience at football's highest levels, Fisch's 13 NFL seasons are definitely a big selling point. Plus, of course, what he's done at Arizona this year. Lance Leipold. Now, we haven't really, we believe Lance Leipold and Chris Klieman are on deck and in the hole, but we haven't made a determination who's the next one up. We've been really focusing on Jed Fisch, the continuous information we've been receiving since Saturday early afternoon. Lance Leipold, who has been the head coach at Kansas since 2021, seems like another potential fit for the Huskies. Since taking over a Jayhawks squad that finished 0-9 in 2020, Leipold has led the program to consecutive bowl games for only the second time in team history. The Jayhawks finished 9-4 this season after a win over UNLV in the Guaranteed Rate Bowl and had the 17th best scoring offense, 21st total offense in all of college football. Now, we know that Lance Leipold lost his offensive coordinator to Penn State. Leipold would bring a run-first offense approach as the Jayhawks ran the ball 499 times this past season, while passing 311, and finished 8th in the nation with 2,678 yards on the ground. He'd bring a much different offense attack than DeBoer and Grubb pass-first fireworks show, but Leipold's ground and pound approach might fit in well when the Huskies make the shift to the Big Ten. Leipold previously spent 8 years as head coach of Wisconsin Whitewater, where he won 6 NCAA Division III national titles, finished with a 109-6 overall record, before winning 2 MAC East titles, 2 MAC Coach of the Year with Buffalo. Holy smokes. Chris Klieman. Yeah, so this list has the same 3 names we have. Chris Klieman, a native of Waterloo, Iowa, has taken Kansas State to 4 bowl games in the past 5 years, finishing up a highly successful 5-year run at North Dakota State from 2014 to 18. Klieman won 4 FCS national championships with the Bison. Quarterback Carson Wentz for 2 of those. After claiming another title in 2018, Klieman left for Kansas State. One of the best Big 12 offenses over the last few years. Those are the names. So they say the same names we have. Fisch, Jed Fisch, Chris Klieman, and Lance Leipold. Brendan Carroll, the son of Pete Carroll, is the offensive coordinator at Arizona with Jed. You can see the connections, right? You can see the connections. We were told Saturday afternoon that, yes, Jed Fisch would definitely be interested in becoming the new head football coach at Washington. So we are waiting this afternoon into the evening. We believe it's going to be all tied up with a bow sometime today, Sunday, January 14th. Ted Evans, Mr. Washington Huskies, an early peak member. You got to remember, when someone comes into a program, it isn't instant. First year or 2, yeah, absolutely. No question about it. No question about it. Abe says if they can pay either of them $8 million, but do they have the money? Does Washington have the money? Do they think, will it take $8 million for Jed Fisch to leave Arizona to Washington? You remember, Jed Fisch is going to want to be able to build a coaching staff. I'm just going to throw out a prediction. Jed Fisch, 7 years, $50 million. about $7 million a year if he goes to Washington. That's just a prediction, no information. Somewhere around at that level, I think he would get. I don't think $8 million is in play. I would be shocked if $8 million or $9 million was in play. Remember, I mean, look at what Kalen DeBoer did at Washington. Of course they were going to offer him $9 million. But I don't think they would need to do the same for Jed Fisch. But we'll see. The negotiations, they're going right now. We all know this, right? They're talking right now, so keep your head on a swivel.
Call from
JD.
JD, Mr. Seminole, the floor is yours.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir. How are you?
I'm doing just swell.
Good.
Absolute swell. I wanted to chime in on the, I don't have any real knowledge of this particular coaching search or anything. In the new arms race, it is less and less about yearly salary for the coach, is the resources that are given to him.
Yeah.
Norvell learned a lot in the last couple of days, and I'm not going to make this all about FSU, but from what I understand, if he really, really wanted the job at Bama, he probably would have it.
We don't think so. We don't think so at Peek Around the Corner. We don't think he was number one on the list.
What it was whenever they started interviewing people, they interviewed 4 at a time. There was no decisions made or anything else, but somebody that was an insider on the whole thing was just saying that Norvell didn't show a lot of interest in the beginning because he didn't want to leave FSU at all, but the only reason he left it open is he wanted to make sure he got the additional resources secured. Now, some people agree, disagree, whatever. I mean, that's not even the point.
Yeah.
My point was that's what matters the most to these coaches now.
Yeah.
That really want to compete on the higher level. There's a lot of coaches that are still chasing the check. There's plenty of those. But it's that, are you going to give me the resources? And from what I was understanding, that was Norvell's push. He didn't want to just make sure that he had the resources and the assurances that he could compete with the Bamas and the Georgias. He wanted to make sure that he has the resources to beat them regularly. James Coleman, one of the former FSU players, he talked to Norvell 20 minutes after he signed the contract. And James has his own podcasts and YouTube stuff and whatever. But anyway, so they gave us some pretty good insights on some stuff that was going behind the scenes. And then there was, another couple of people that have chimed in the last couple of days that have talked about that as well. But that's neither here nor there. It's all about the resources and the commitments. I think whether you get a $10 million a year salary or a $9 million a year salary, I think for some of these coaches, that's not as important. That's more or less a prestige number. I'm one of the top paid coaches in the country. Some of these guys could care less if they're making $10 million or $6 million because it's money that they're not going to spend. Maybe their kids will one day. They want to know, hey, do I have $2 million in my recruiting budget? Do I have $3 million in my recruiting budget? What is it? Are you willing to build the facilities? Are you willing to give me all these off-field analysts? Because if a school's not willing to give that to you, you're not going to beat Georgia. You're not going to beat LSU. You're not going to beat all these other teams. You follow me?
Yep.
And I don't know the whole deal behind Washington. I don't know what their commitment is and whatever else, but I saw where somebody posted online that talking about all the coaches they've gone through in the last several years, and I don't know. I mean, does Washington have the kind of money to keep a guy long term, to keep a big guy long term, or are they? They're
also pretty scrapped right now with their athletic department. I
Okay.
I mean, there's been articles about, but you know what? They just came off an incredible season, and when that happens, the money flows in, right? The money does flow in. The boosters they're writing checks that they were not expecting to the year before. They're all jacked up, so that helps. That's helping Florida State now. When you win, the money comes. And in 4, 5, 6 years from now, they're going to be getting the full Big Ten media payout. So it is going to turn into even a bigger job.
Yeah.
If they have more money than Arizona, if you can just hold on, can I interrupt? We got a little bit of breaking news here.
Oh, sure.
I apologize, sir. But I'm just going to show you something. Steve Sarkisian here at College Football's PATC Peek Around the Corner. Steve Sarkisian expected to bolster Texas support staff with a former Longhorns assistant. This is Arizona senior defensive assistant Dwayne Aina is expected to return to Texas in a similar role. Now, Arizona's defense was absolutely abysmal a couple years ago. This cat, Dwayne Aina, has been given a lot of flowers at Arizona. This news just broke. Arizona people are now they're getting more worried about what's about to happen, if it happens. I'm just putting it out there, ladies and gentlemen. He's a defensive assistant, but he's a big timer. And now Texas, he's going back to Texas. So that's just breaking news that just happened. I apologize, JD. Go ahead.
Oh, no problem. No problem at all. One of the things that you, if he's leaving, that's probably an indication of what's about to happen, obviously. But we talked you had talked the other day, and I also had the opinion that he was holding out for Fitch. He was holding out for the Florida job. There's rumors that now that Florida's still going to give Napier not just 2024 but also 2025. They expect he's going to have a terrible year because of that schedule. They expect there's going to be some more turnover and some more issues. So they're just giving him a little more leeway. And maybe he just doesn't want to wait around on that job. Plus, there's also rumors that Kiffin could be interested in the Florida job. I don't know. I don't know. But there's rumors that Kiffin could be interested in that in the future. Why not? He's coached for half of the SEC schools already. Just add another one.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's the new arms race. It's your salary is a I don't know the right word. It's a status symbol. But for these coaches in the new arms race, it is all about support staff and what are you going to give me to compete? Because you could pay me $15 million a year, but you don't give me the staff, well, I won't see out the end of my contract, And it's what it is.
Yeah.
But, all right, sir, I just wanted to chime in on that.
You got it. Appreciate it. Mr. Seminole, JD.
Have a great day. Thanks.
Now, a lot of people have been asking about Matt Campbell. Yeah, we just, we have spent here at Peek Around the Corner, since we received Poking and Prod on Saturday morning, we were told Jed Fisch definitely interested. There's definite interested. Washington's interested. He is number one on the target list. All through Saturday, the only thing I could do was put out a couple of tweets about turntables turning, Michael, The Office. That's the only thing I could put out. Throughout everything we've said, everything that we've been talking to with people, the Matt Campbell thing doesn't seem to be on the target list. again, look, we are not infallible here at Peek Around the Corner. We've been highly successful. History is going to be very kind to us on all these, most of the stories we cover, but we're not infallible here. We are willing to take the big fat L as we talk right now. If it's breaking news that it's Chris Klieman, Lance Leipold, Matt Campbell, all we can do is give you the best peek around the corner possible. We don't think it's going to be Matt Campbell. We don't think so, but look, if Washington can't come to agreement with Jed Fisch, the big conversation is going to head somewhere else. Chris Klieman, nope, that don't work. Nope, it could go down to Matt Campbell. We don't think so. We do not think so. But I've been given, I've had DMs. One particular, I gotta say, there are other, of course, I'm not alone out there. There are other people who are under the belief that how do I say this? I'm going to say it this way. We are either going to have breaking news that Jed Fisch is the next head football coach at Washington, or we're going to get something here pretty soon that Jed Fisch is coming back to Arizona, and we're going to have that, right? He's not going anywhere. This isn't like the now you can disagree with me, that's fine. We're fine with that. You can call us up. JD believes that, some people have said Mike Norvell was number one on the list. We were told he wasn't. That was Norvell getting a nice bump in pay. If you read the Clemson Tiger Illustrated, if you read Larry Williams and Dabo Sweeney, yes, things really cooking between Dabo and Alabama. He wasn't the number one target. Kalen DeBoer was Alabama's number one target. And it's okay if you disagree with me, but I just wanted to make it clear what we were told, okay? Jed Fisch is the number one target. Again, you can disagree with us here at Peek Around the Corner. But what I'm trying to say is the other players around the Kalen DeBoer Washington, from our perspective, from what we were told, it was Kalen DeBoer. Can they get it done? Can they figure it out? And they figured it out between Alabama and Kalen DeBoer. If it wouldn't have been figured out, obviously probably would have gone to somebody else. But those other candidacies, those other coaches that were getting their raises, they might not know who definitely was going to get the job, but they probably had a pretty good idea. I think we're in a situation now with other candidate names. If you could get into the room with them and ask them who do you think is going to be the next head coach of Washington, I think they would tell you it's Jed Fisch. This story is centered around Jed Fisch right now. Since we've been on the air, could it be where Jed Fisch said, nah, this ain't going to work for me. Arizona's going to bump my pay. I'm going, yes, possibly. But right now, this is a Jed Fisch to Washington situation. We'll see if it works out. We'll see if it happens. Not necessarily. Greg is like the Grim Reaper. If he says your coach name, now, the Kalen DeBoer thing, yeah, Ted, it happened, but look, Arizona might be able to keep their coach, but they're going to have to act right now. They are acting right now, right? We're We're going to see some reports of Arizona trying to keep Jed Fisch. We're going to see it here, I believe, maybe during this live show. So keep your head on a swivel. Keep your head on a swivel. Just checking that phone lines are open, 763-260-1333. Again, Arizona defensive assistant Dwayne Aina is expected to return to Texas in a similar role under Steve Sarkisian. So Arizona is losing a defense assistant. A lot of flowers have been given to him over the last year on the work that he has done at Arizona. Greg, please say Napier's name so he'll be fired. Doesn't Arizona have a $240 million accounting error to deal with? They do have that to deal with. Washington has their own money situation to deal with, but it's not like Arizona. Yep. I'm trusting the fat man from Minnesota, the land of 10,000 lakes. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But either way, we have Peek Around the Corner. We couldn't do it yesterday. We had to, again, if you're just joining us here at Peek Around the Corner, yesterday, yesterday at 1:39 p.m., we put out this tweet. Well, how the turntables have turned. Because Friday, Peek Around the Corner, we put out basically the only thing we were told through the chaos of DeBoer officially becoming a Washington head football coach. We were told that Jed Fisch becoming the Washington head coach wasn't going to happen. This particular job at this particular time. And that's the only thing we reported on Friday. Saturday, early afternoon, no. Wait, time out. Jed Fisch is interested. Washington is very interested in Jed Fisch. In fact, he's the number one target. Can Washington get it done? We do not know. But this was Saturday. We trading bones. How do I say this? Made an agreement that I was going to keep my mouth shut yesterday, but I did put out this as a little hint that things have turned. Things have turned. The one thing I said on Friday is not true anymore. I reposted it earlier this morning, and then we were able to come on live here to say that Jed Fisch is the number one target, as we've been told here at Peek Around the Corner, for the Washington Huskies. Will it get done? We do not know, ladies and gentlemen. We're not in the room. After this live show, we keep poking and prodding. I have received information since we've been on the show. According to a report by ESPN's Pete Thamel, Washington presented a proposal to retain DeBoer, offering him a contract that would exceed his 2023 salary by more than double, $4.2 million. So somewhere $8-9 million. Probably $9 million, because that seems to be. I don't think Washington's going to have to give Jed Fisch or Lance Leipold or Chris Klieman or whoever. I don't think it's going to have to be that type of salary, right? This is about keeping the guy that just brought you, DeBoer, that just brought you to the championship game, right? I don't think it's going to take $8-9 million. It's probably going to take 6-7. I say $7 million to get a Jed Fisch after what he's just done at Arizona. But we'll see. We'll see. Is $7 million enough for Lance Leipold? $7 million enough for Chris Klieman? Chris Klieman, who really wants to stay at Manhattan. Leipold, that really wants to stay at Lawrence. Marcus William, Greg, do you think Alabama will struggle next year? Also, do you think Michigan will make the playoffs next year as well? Is J.J. McCarthy coming back next year? Is Jim Harbaugh coming back next year? There's just so much we don't know about Michigan. They're losing a ton of guys. But is J.J. coming back? Jim Harbaugh coming back? And then Alabama, yeah, they'll probably struggle some. All right, I think they'll slip just a little bit more. I don't know if Jalen Milroe is going to be work. We don't know who the offensive coordinator is going to be. We know, we heard that the head coach, Kalen DeBoer, wants to attack. That means he wants to chuck the ball downfield, just like he did at Washington. Take the cap off the defense. Go for it. Throw it downfield. Yards per attempt. Kalen DeBoer's offense, yards per attempt, is much higher than everybody else's in the Pac-12. Probably going to be in the SEC as well. Sure, are they going to throw these flat passes and all these passes by the line of scrimmage like Ole Miss did with Lane Kiffin in Tennessee? But Alabama's going to chuck it downfield with Kalen DeBoer. Jalen Milroe is not going to be a type of quarterback that that Kalen DeBoer is going to have in the future at Alabama. He's going to have like C.J. Stroud type of quarterbacks. They're going to chuck it downfield and Michael Penix type of quarterback, obviously. So Alabama's going to struggle. It's going to be a transitional year for Alabama. Michigan, I don't know. Thank you for the super chat, Marcus. Appreciate it. Appreciate your generosity so very much. John Teal, Miami's more sexy, but Ward at BYU would be more solid. Ward has made the decision. Thank you for the super chat, John. Appreciate your generosity so very much. But Ward is going to Miami. To Miami. Cameron Ward under Mario Cristobal. So that is happening. He went out of the NFL draft transfer portal back to college. Miami, Florida State, DJ Ungo Ungale. Miami, Cameron Ward. Lance Leipold, get it right. Benny, I'll do the best I can. He's looking at a significant raise from Kansas. Rumors around Lawrence, Summit Hawk. Kansas was already in talks over the last 2 weeks to double his pay to $7 to $8 million. Milroe should transfer. Jalen Milroe is coming back to Alabama. I know there was a report out there yesterday that he was in the portal. That did not happen. Still waiting on Iowa's offensive coordinator. Greg, I think Lance wants money to keep his staff. NIL. He has the highest roster and staff retention in America, though I don't have the stats. I believe front runner 3R is saying Jed Fisch's wife said in that video she wants her 2 daughters to grow up and say they are from Tucson. Marcus Williams, thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it so much. Do you think we have a settlement or some sort of resolution with Florida State and ACC lawsuit this year? If so, when does Florida State make the move to the Big Ten? I'm not going to make a prediction on when. I don't know. That's my answer. And I don't have a prediction. We first have to see when these are dated, when these court cases are dated in Mecklenburg County and Leon County. There's too much we do not know. And for Florida State to make their move to the Big Ten, if they can clear themselves from the ACC grant of rights, we think Florida State going to the Big Ten is the chalk. But the door, we do not believe the door is closed on Florida State going to the SEC. A lot of Seminole fans get upset with me every time I say that. But no doors are open. No doors are closed or open at this time. There's too many variables before that. We know how this works. This is going to be a long road. It has finally started, but everybody's got to keep. Everybody else can go ahead and speculate and go ahead and predict and everything. We have Peek Around the Corner. There's too many things that we're following. There's too many variables. All I can say at this point, Florida State going to the Big Ten is the chalk. It's the favorite if they can get themselves untangled. But the Florida State SEC door is not shut. And I'm going to keep saying it. And I know a lot of people get upset with me. But I got to give you the straight shoot. The door is not closed on that situation. Thank you, Marcus, for the super chat. I appreciate once again your generosity to this channel. Appreciate it so much. Helmer Hennison. Not enough money, interest, commitment for Minnesota to become a top-tier Big Ten program. Just curious how things work. No disrespect intended. Yes, not enough money, interest, or commitment for Minnesota to become a top-tier football program. Yeah, it's not happening. Not happening. Minnesota is a state of 5.7 million. Minnesota has every single sport franchise you can even think of. This is Vikings country. It's a hockey state. The sports media money is spread out in this state like no other state in the country. Maybe the only one that comes close is Colorado. The hockey team fills up the Timberwolves. And when you go into the University of Minnesota, there's high interest in the hockey program, the wrestling program. Minnesota, how they don't have a recruiting grounds in football. It's not a football state. It's when it comes to recruits. Nice stadium, a decent fan base, a whole lot of money in this area. The 17th biggest TV market. The Big Ten loves Minnesota to be in the conference. We were one of the original programs. We're an important academic institution, research institution. Of course, the medical research that University of Minnesota does, all that stuff. But are we going to be able to build a top Big Ten football program? Nope. Now, can we have really good years from time to time? Yes, we can. Yep. Yes, we can. I mean, in 2019, Minnesota finished the season ranked number 10th in the nation. Minnesota, number 10. So once in a while, Minnesota Golden Gophers can pop. But can we become a top-tier Big Ten program? versus Penn State, Ohio State, Michigan. Now you bring in UCLA, USC, Washington, Oregon. No, we can't. It's just, there's just no way. There's too many things going on in the state of Minnesota, for one. And we don't have the recruiting grounds here. Now, in hockey and other sports, yes, but not in football. Thank you, Helmer Henderson, for the super chat. Appreciate it so very much. Congo, do you believe Kalen DeBoer to Alabama in 2024 will be similar to Rich Rod to Michigan in 2007? Interesting. Very interesting question. Hold on, Congo.
Call from
Kansas State fan.
Kansas State fan, can you hold on 1 second, sir?
Of course.
I appreciate it. I got a very interesting question here. Congo super chat. Do you believe Kalen DeBoer to Alabama in 2024 will be similar to Rich Rod to Michigan in 2007? I would not. I have to, again, I'm going to have to cop out on this. I want to see what Kalen DeBoer's coaching staff looks like. I gotta. Is he going to get Parker, the great Broyles Award defensive coordinator from Iowa? Is he going to be able to bring Ryan Grubb with him? The great offensive coordinator, Washington. I want to see what his coaching staff looks like. He's got to have enough Southern flavor on that coaching staff to recruit. I'm going to say it's going to be more successful than Rich Rod, obviously. But it could be similar to that. Yeah, it could be. But I got to see the coaching staff that he assembles. Thank you, Congo, for your generosity to the channel. Thank you so very much. Kansas State fan, I apologize. Thank you for your patience. The floor is yours.
How are you doing today, Greg?
I'm doing good. Trying to keep up on everything that's going on in college football. And it's a very difficult task.
It is a very difficult task, especially when you're dealing with the weather concerns as well.
Mm-hmm.
It is negative 7 degrees. Negative 7 degrees in Manhattan.
Holy smokes.
Cold. It is very cold.
Yes.
So there's that. Now I do want to kind of get some things out there, and I'm not saying that I have the closest ties towards the news and what has transpired with this Washington coaching search, but I do have on full authority late last night that Jed Fisch, and you mentioned it, like in terms of being the chalk favorite. That's kind of where I was thinking about it as well. I think Jed Fisch is right now the favorite, and I've had Lance Leopoldo of Kansas as the potential second option, mainly considering that they haven't gone through a contract yet, and at the same time, part of that reasoning in terms of a Washington smoke could be with several of the financial concerns in terms of Kansas's stadium renovations as well. So I would probably say those are the top two candidates, and then one wild card that I would not be surprised to see move up here pretty soon is Matt Campbell of Iowa State. And I'm not saying that as a K-State fan, but at the same time, I think Matt Campbell at this point has reached a ceiling at Iowa State. And I believe one of the top 24/7 sports insiders also came out saying that Campbell also interviewed for the Washington job as well. So
Okay.
I would say wild card in terms of a wild card. I'd be on the lookout for Matt Campbell as well. And I mean, everybody's going to be coming out saying, I'm a K-State fan, so of course I'm going to have the biases against Kansas or Iowa State. And who knows? I mean, the stadium renovations part, I could be wrong about as well. But that's just what I've heard on my end. Not as much smoke in terms of Chris Klieman. Of course, they have the AD at Washington. He has several ties with Chris Klieman as well, but I don't think he unless Gene Taylor, the athletic director, leaves K-State or retires, I just don't see Chris Klieman leaving until potentially the Iowa job opens up, and that's where things could really get interesting.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
unless if any other kind of job similar, kind of like where Iowa is, like if a Wisconsin or Nebraska, if several of those schools were to open up another job like that, then that's where things could get a little bit interesting. But I just don't think right now at the moment there's too many ties for that matter as well. So that's just what I have to say right now in terms of like what I've seen so far.
Got it.
But do you have any thoughts about Matt Campbell? Because I think that could be one where they could lean to if it's not Shear or Leopold. I mean, if it's not Fisch or Leopold.
If it's not Fisch, Leopold, or Klieman, Campbell probably comes into the fray, but we haven't heard that name, so I can't really. We haven't picked up any Matt Campbell steam here. Basically, it's the three names of Jed Fisch, Leipold, and Klieman, and now we did get a Jason Shear of Arizona, 247. For what it's worth, there's a ton of smoke around Lance Leipold. I don't know if he's the guy or what, but his name has been consistent.
Okay. This is 11:50. Yeah. Sorry, I had to look up something real quick. All right. A little bit of a tidbit I just received. This was at 11:52, but it came out. But one of the writers for the Inform in North Dakota, but in terms of a Washington coaching search, he was told by Chris Klieman that he's going to remain at Kansas State.
Yeah. I'm
keeping that with a little bit of a grain of salt, but he ups out. Let's see. This is from the Inform in terms of Fargo and Moorhead. He came out with a little bit of an article for that matter as well. So I'm just really keeping things. What is it? Head on a swivel.
Yep, keep your head on the swivel.
Anything can go in college sports, whether it's realignment or coaching searches. It's chaotic, and as a Big 12 fan, at times I love it, and at times I hate it. But you know what? That's the way it is.
Yes.
So, all righty, Greg, I'll let you be going, and hope you have a great one. God bless and have a good one.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Great call. Daniel Deal says another podcaster mentioned smoke around Lance Leipold. We'll see. Chris Klieman talking in public, saying that he's staying, or other people reporting that he's staying at Kansas State. Well, we're going to start seeing reports of that, right? Right? I mean, when are we going to see Jed Fisch making an announcement that he's staying at Arizona, or Lance Leipold that he's staying at Kansas? That's what we're looking for, ladies and gentlemen. That is what we are looking for. Zach Barnett, he says, seeing a lot of Arizona doom and gloom with respect to Jed Fisch's situation. I don't think this is connected to that at all in regards to the Steve Sarkisian expected to bring Dwayne Aina back to Texas. And here is the news. Mike McFeely, a tidbit of news, Washington coaching search. This is what the previous caller, Kansas State fan, just reported. Former, let's get into it here. Inforum News. Whoops, I can't read it. Can't get into it. But it's reporting that Chris Klieman tells me he's staying at Kansas State. Okay, so we are looking for news on Leipold and Jed Fisch. Right? That's what we're looking at. Keep your head on a swivel. We were told that Jed Fisch was target number 1. Checking out more information here. It's a live show. We're constantly getting stuff being thrown at us. I do apologize. Why did Minnesota push Michigan State into the Big Ten? They dislike in Michigan even then. I guess he lost his revenge. Boy, I remember reading this story a couple times. But yeah, it was Michigan State being sponsored by Michigan. It was Pittsburgh being sponsored. I'm sorry. Michigan State was being sponsored by Minnesota. Michigan was sponsoring the addition of Pittsburgh. And it was a 1-vote difference. It went down to the wire. Minnesota was able to push Michigan State in. The reasons, I've forgotten the reasons why, to be honest with you. I have forgotten the reasons why. Michigan and Minnesota has been like this since day one of when the Big Ten was created. Even now today, when you talk about voting factions within the Big Ten, Wisconsin and Michigan are tied to the hip. So anytime you see Wisconsin and Michigan, there's some reasons why the states are real next to each other. They're the top 2 research universities when it comes to expenditures. They're always lining up, making sure, whatever. And of course, Minnesota and Wisconsin, Minnesota, Michigan, that's how it's always been. It's always been that way. Minnesota and Iowa line up way more than Minnesota and Wisconsin and Michigan when it comes to the internal politics of the Big Ten. And I can't tell you all the reasons why, but it's something I should really look at. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate it, Helmer. Minnesota is the program in the Big Ten that has been for the one program in the Big Ten that has been for every addition to the Big Ten. They were pro Michigan State. They were pro Nebraska. They were pro Penn State. They were pro Oregon, Washington. They were USC, UCLA, and they're gonna be pro whatever happens in the Southeast. Okay, let's get to it. Thank you for your super chat. Appreciate it, Mr. Henderson. Thank you so very much. A lot of great questions. Holy smokes. Give us a call, 763-260-1336. 763-260-1333. Lawrence is getting a Q39. I don't know what a Q39 means. Educate this dummy from Minnesota. What does Q39 mean? Minnesota is an undercover Big 12 team. Minnesota's Big 10. It created the Big 10. It created the Big 10. If any school created the Big 10, it was Minnesota.
Call from
Numbskull.
Numbskull News is on the line. The floor is yours. What do you think's happening here? Washington, what's going on, sir?
Well, it's nothing good for the Big 12. I hate this crap. I hate Washington.
Yeah.
I nothing against the Big 10, but
Yeah.
crap on y'all for bringing in Washington.
Yeah.
The scourge of the Big 12 right now. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Chances are, I don't think Jed Fisch is going anywhere, but Leipold, Campbell, those guys, to me, I don't trust that they are entrenched like Klieman and Fisch are.
Okay.
That's kind of where I see it.
Yeah.
And by the way, it's 13 degrees in Texas. It should be quite a bit warmer.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, wind chill's at -2.
Wow. Yeah. That's
So
cold.
we'll see if we get some ice.
Yeah, that's cold. We're at -1 here at Minnesota. It's colder south of us. We gotta, we're actually not. We actually got the warm spot of this wave coming in, but that's going to change soon. Minnesota will be leading the nation in temperature here pretty soon. But today, Iowa's a lot worse off than us. Kansas, a lot of places.
Yeah, usually Minnesota's basically like that movie Day After Tomorrow every year, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So you think it's Leipold maybe, or what are you thinking?
Leipold or Campbell, that's kind of my gut feeling on it. It's not a good feeling. Leipold would be, to me, that's a big loss for the Big 12 if he goes.
Yes.
He's done amazing there.
Yes.
I like Campbell, but you don't know how far he can take that program. It's not the easiest program to get recruits. It's not the easiest program for transfer portal. It's if you think Iowa, you're thinking the Hawkeyes.
Yes.
And nothing against Iowa State. It's a good program, good school, but I just think there's certain limitations there. And Kansas, I don't think has a lot of limitations. Not like there, but I don't know. I don't know about Leipold. I don't know enough about him. I know he's a damn good coach.
Yes, he is.
And
good
recruiter. And he builds those kids up, man. He turns a 2-star to a 3-star. That's a quality coach, and that scares me. That Washington and I wasn't worried about Alabama. They're going for the big fish, right?
Yeah.
But it's that secondary level like Washington. Those are the ones that you worry about when they come open.
Yes. Yep. And it's like they're saying in the chat, it's a business, right? I mean, everyone's trying to move up. Everyone's trying to get to a place that has more resources. These head coaches, they're always thinking to themselves, if I had just a little bit more resources, I could really do it. They're always thinking, they're always going for the more resource type of job. And Washington probably is looked upon, at least in the future here, as a program that's going to be able to offer more resources. But Leipold, he could have had other jobs before Washington. That's the thing, it's. I don't know.
True. I mean, you look at a guy like Whittingham, right?
Yes. Yeah.
He was offered. He got offers.
Yeah.
He got offers, and he turned them all down.
Yeah.
And Utah's in the middle of nowhere. It's in the middle of nowhere. But it's a good Division I place. It's a beautiful town.
Yeah.
And he's like, you know what? I could put down roots here, and I can retire here. that's, I don't know, there's the two coaches. They're the ones that are super ambitious that, have got to get the brass ring, DeBoer, those kind of guys. And then there's the ones like Lanning that says, hey, look, this isn't Alabama, but Oregon's pretty damn nice.
Yeah.
I have everything I need here. There's not these super insane expectations.
Yeah.
I'm just expected to compete, and I can do that. It's like Whittingham. He knows he can compete. Peterson, or I don't know if I get the name wrong, former TCU head coach, he passed up a lot of stuff to stay at TCU. When you saw other TCU coaches, go to like places like A&M and get fired 3 years later, why do that?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Hopefully Leopold's got a good head on his shoulders and says, you know what? It's Seattle. Seattle sucks.
Leipold could have had the Michigan. I really believe he could have had the Michigan State job instead of Jonathan Smith. If he really wanted it, I think he could have went to East Lansing, but he didn't want it. His wife wants to stay at Lawrence, so I think it's one of the reasons why I think people perceived him as not being the chalk going into today. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I know the big eye of Sauron is looking at him, but that doesn't mean you can't throw the ring in the fire and stay where you are.
Yeah.
Especially if the wife wants that. I don't know about you, Greg, but if you ever ticked off your wife, it's not a fun Thanksgiving.
Yeah. Yeah. No, the little general has a lot of sway in this household and in the studio. So, yeah, I get it. I understand it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The last thing I want to do is sleep out in the cold.
Yes, yes. Well, I think we're going to find out. Like the next report is going to be Jed Fisch going, I'm staying at Arizona, or Leipold saying, I'm staying at Kansas. We're going to get one of these pretty soon, right? Here early this afternoon.
Yeah, you would think it'd be today.
Yeah.
Because it looks like Washington. I mean, I think they want to move fast. I mean,
sure.
You kind of have to.
Sure. Yeah.
You kind of have to with recruiting and everything.
Yes. The calendar, classes are starting. Absolutely. You got to get going right now on it. Yep.
Yeah, but watch out for Matt Campbell. Okay. I know they like him.
We got it. We'll watch out for Matt Campbell. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you calling every single time. Love your show. Thank you, sir.
Hey, love your show too, man. Have a good day. Try not to freeze to death.
God bless. Thank you, sir.
All right. Bye.
Numbskull News. Numbskull News. Check it out. College football YouTube channel in the proud state of Texas. Check it out. Check it out. I love how the guy talks. I love his cadence. I wish I had that cadence, but I've got this ugly northern Minnesota accent. So, Numbskull News, check it out. Ryan Willie, evil Badger. That's why I hate Michigan more than Minnesota. Holy smokes. Any word, Christabama. Holy smokes. -5 in Badgerland. Wow. I haven't heard anything about Paul Christabama. To do what? Offensive line coach. He would not be their offensive coordinator. Look, it's either going to work or not work, but Kalen DeBoer is going to Alabama to chuck the ball downfield. He's not going to change. They're going to chuck it downfield. They are going to chuck that ball downfield. We'll see what happens. They're going to have Max protect, just like at Washington. They're going to go wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. They're going to chuck that ball downfield. Ooh, what is this? Boom! Breaking news, breaking news. Holy smokes. Well, we got a few breaking news here. I can't even keep up. Holy smoke. Holy smokes. Ladies and gentlemen, J.J. McCarthy, thank you, Mr. Hot Guy Immaculate. He kept his head on a swivel. PATC. J.J. McCarthy has declared for the NFL draft. Holy smokes. Michigan, the national champions, just lost their quarterback. Wow. Breaking news. Breaking news. J.J. McCarthy. Okay, well, what does that mean? I'm not sure what that means. The phone lines are open. 763-260-1333. What does that mean for Jim Harbaugh, Michigan, Ohio State, Will Howard, Quinshawn Judkins, Trevion Henderson, and whatever his name is, the wide receiver? They are stacked. Everybody's coming back on defense. JT, Jack Sawyer. They're probably going to get Caleb Downs, Alabama, true freshman, strong safety who dominated SEC football. Holy smokes. Yeah, that guy, Jared Jones. Woo! The Buckeyes. Emeka Ibuka. There are reports that Jim Harbaugh is interviewing with the Chargers this week. Holy smokes, ladies and gentlemen. National champions, Michigan, going to take a step back next year. Who's going to be Michigan's quarterback starting next year? Was that, okay, well, was that perfect? Okay, Jared, I'm not going to be able to do that again. So, however I said his name, Emeka, whatever his name is, whatever I just said, put that on a tape. Send it to me. Cut that out, put it on a tape, and I'll play that every time I have to say his name next year. There was a rumor out there that Fisch was interviewing with Washington and Michigan. Maybe that was true. There was another breaking news here. Another breaking news. Hold on, everybody. I'm trying to keep up. And now I lost it. Now I have lost it. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know what to think of the Silver Bulletin. There's a report. I'm just going to show it. Ohio State has spoken with Toledo head coach Jason Candle in regards to the Buckeyes offensive coordinator opening. Toledo sources tell the Silver Bulletin other names to watch for is Kentucky's OC, Cohen. I don't know about that report. I'm just going to put it out there. McCarthy, 4th round? You guys are crazy. He's not going in the 1st round, though. But he's got to be going in the 2nd. Right? Rock and rant. Washington better put a clause in that Jed can't go to Florida because Mama gonna be calling him in a year. That's a good point. At least, or the buyout's gonna be more money, right? More money. If you're gonna go to Florida, the buyout money, Washington's gonna get more money out of the deal if you go to Florida. Summit Hawk, McCarthy, 2nd round, 3rd round. The evil Badger, Ryan Willie, just doesn't like anything that is a Wolverine. David M., so you're telling me I really need to enjoy Michigan's national championship? Okay, yes. Enjoy it. Best team in the country. No question about it. Michigan Wolverines. Florida's going to be looking around. Breaking news every 10 minutes. PATC Live. Woo! And here's J.J. McCarthy's. Here's his post on X. Michigan man at 3 deep breaths. After 3 incredible years at the University of Michigan, I have decided to enter the 2024 NFL Draft. I have talked to many in and out of football, including my family, Coach Jim Harbaugh. Many opinions who I greatly admire and respect. The decision was not easy, and how could it be? I love my teammates. I love my coaches. I love it here in Ann Arbor. It is almost impossible to put into words what this university and my time here has meant to me, but I'm going to take 3 deep breaths right now and try. My faith, I have always believed in a higher power, and I knew when I stepped into Schembechler Hall for the first time, this is where I was destined to be. I've always tried to live in the moment and take things one day at a time. Some days have not gone as I hoped, but every day I have believed the next day will be better. My family, I'm so blessed to be surrounded by the greatest, most supportive and loving parents in the world. Mom and Dad, thank you for all you have done for me and our family. To my incredible sisters, Caitlin, and Morgan, I love you guys and appreciate all the support you have given me. To my love, Kata, you are my soulmate, best friend, and my rock, and I'm so blessed to be your partner now and forever. I'm so excited to continue our journey together. And finally, team 144, my family. We have so much love for each other, and that will never go away. We have accomplished so much on the field, but I will remember as much what we did off it. It has been an honor to be your quarterback. The love and support from all of you. I felt it when we beat Ohio 3 times. I felt it when we won 3 Big Ten championships. When we won the NFL Draft, 2024. He's got some skills. I think he can play on Sunday. I most definitely think he can play on Sunday. Why can't he play on Sunday? Why can't he? He's got the wheels. He's got a good arm. Good pocket presence. Numbskull News, JJ, future 2nd round pick. The evil Badger, Jeff Olson, he wants Blake Corum to the Packers in the 3rd round. You know what I want, Jeff? Do you know what I want, evil Badger, Jeff Olson? I want the Packers to go down to the Cowboys today. What do you think of that, Jeff? What do you think of that? Jeff Olson is a very close friend of mine. Just for you all are wondering, I can rip on Jeff Olson anytime I want. The Packers are going down, and I hope you all don't get Blake Corum because he's a tough running back. Tough running back. Late 1st rounder to a top contender. Great situation. That's a good point. Late 1st rounder. Yeah, he could go to, what? I don't know. San Francisco 49ers? Breaking news. J.J. McCarthy going into the NFL Draft. A lot of flowers being sent J.J. McCarthy's way. Isaiah Hole, J.J. McCarthy was beyond a pleasure to cover from recruiting to the end. Truly a remarkable man who was as genuine as he was kind. I can't say enough good things about him. J.J. McCarthy going into the NFL Draft. If you're new to the show, please subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. If you like our content, smash the like button It helps us with the algorithms of YouTube so very much. And if you're interested, go to Early Peak. Hit the join button if you want to become an Early Peak Cloak and Dagger member. $4.99 a month. All you got to do is hit the join button. You get the Early Peak episodes, a little bit of Cloak and Dagger information dropped to you before we go on live. Early Peak. So if you're interested, just hit the join button. And again, make sure you open yourself up to be able to get a gift membership, because our last live show, we had people very, very generously offering gift memberships, Cloak and Dagger, Early Peak Cloak and Dagger memberships. So make sure you open yourself up to be able to grab one of those if it's offered during the show today. Marcus Williams, thank you so much for your super chat. Once again, sir, I appreciate your incredible generosity to this channel. I think JJ needed one more year to develop, but this news lets me know that Jim is gone now. But my Cowboys gonna smash your Packers today. We dem boys. Well, they're not my Packers, but I understand what you're saying. I understand what you are saying. I think the Cowboys are gonna smash them Packers. Yeah, Jim, I think he's gone too, but where is he going? We believed, and we put it in one of those Early Peak Cloak and Dagger episodes, we believe it was the Vegas. We believe it was Vegas. The Raiders, because they were going to give him what he wanted, what he needed. But he's going to be interviewing with the Chargers, so we'll see what happens. Antonio Pierce, is he the guy that the Raiders are going to rally around to become their new head coach? Jim Harbaugh, Antonio Pierce. Then there's been other reports today that Pierce is going to be interviewing for other NFL jobs. So we shall see. But thank you so much. I appreciate it, Mr. Ryan Willie. Thank you. I'm sorry, Marcus Williams. Thank you so much for your generosity. I appreciate it. Ted Evans, thank you for the gift membership. Holy smokes. Thank you, Ted Evans. Rocket Rant was gifted a membership by Ted Evans. Thank you, Mr. Evans. You are knighted once again, Cloak and Dagger style. And as you, Rocket Rant, you are also now knighted. Cloak and Dagger. Appreciate it. Thank you so very much. Thanks for your generosity, Mr. Evans. Mr. Washington Huskies, as he waits to see who's going to be the new leader, the new head coach of the Huskies. Purple Orca says Antonio Pierce got the Raiders job, and Jim is returning to the Chargers. T-Duck, Harbaugh leaving minus 10 degree weather to go to 70 degree weather. LA Chargers or Las Vegas. Any movement in the theater by the end of next week, the chances of us doing a Holy Smokes Theater show, live show, where we have up on the screen title, the Holy Smokes Theater, the artwork, where we focus in on the Holy Smokes Theater, the chances of us doing one of those shows by the end of next week is very, very high. That's the only way I can answer that question right now. Go Black 45. Remember, I'm not going to say anymore. By the end of next week, sometime later in next week, I mean, it could happen. It could happen tomorrow, but I don't think so. Sometime at the end of next week, I would anticipate us doing a pretty big Holy Smokes Theater live show. So again, what's the Holy Smokes Theater? It's how we introduce information when it comes to high drama situations, college football, without burning our sources. Holy Smokes Theater, Florida State at the center of the stage. So is Clemson, North Carolina, Miami in the first row. If you've been watching the show, you understand. If you haven't been watching the show, please hit the subscribe button. Get yourself notified, because we're going to be doing a Holy Smokes Theater show sometime late next week. So keep your head on a swivel. Keep your head on a swivel. It is going to be an important week, we believe, late in the week. Ryan Willie, Packers own Jerry World. Holy smokes. The evil Badger supporting his Packers. It's going to get a lot of viewership, right? That game, Packers and Cowboys, everybody's freezing cold outside. That the viewership numbers on Packers Cowboys today, it's going to be big. Is that I think it's 4:30 Eastern, 3:30 Central Time, right? Right? Am I wrong on that? I think that is I think that's the time. Hold on 1 second here. Just checking something out. Okay, I think we're going to wrap it up for now. We've been on the air, I believe, for more than 2 hours. We are going to be looking at this story, the Washington story going on today. When there's breaking news, if I have the opportunity, we're going to be going live again. Washington Huskies went to the championship game. Pac-12 champions, lost their great head coach, Kalen DeBoer, to Alabama. He was the chalk. We reported that a couple days before it happened. Today we reported that Jed Fisch is the chalk, is the favorite. There is mutual interest. There is no question about it. But Lance Leipold, he's on the on-deck circle. We'll see what happens. But right now, Jed Fisch, we were told yesterday afternoon that he had interest in the job. So, we're waiting. We're waiting. The negotiations are going on right now. There's no question about that. Who is going to be the new head football coach of the Washington Huskies as they enter into their first year in the Big Ten? And of course, that decision is going to cause a ripple effect. If it's Lance Leipold, if he goes to Washington, what does that do for Kansas? They just lost their offensive coordinator. They're going to lose their head coach. Holy smokes. They're bringing back their quarterback. They're bringing back their running back. They're bringing back a lot of guys on Kansas next year. And then you're looking at Arizona, 10-3, Alamo Bowl. They defeated Oklahoma. They're favorites to win the new Big 12 by many next year. Why would Jed Fisch leave? Well, he's interested. He's interested in the Washington job. So Once this breaks today, we'll be going on live again if we have the opportunity. And I think we will here at Peek Around the Corner. So keep your head on a swivel. Stay tuned for our next live show. If you're new to the channel, or if you haven't done so, you have to hit that subscribe button. And then make sure you have your notifications on, because we can come up live at any time. We could be coming up live 10 minutes after we shut this down. So keep your head on a swivel. I want to thank you for all the generous donations today during our live show, for all the wonderful comments, the great phone calls. I want to thank you all so very much. We're probably going to be coming on live here pretty soon. So keep your head on a swivel. Peek Around the Corner community. Stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner as we follow this story and others. Ryan Willie Harbaugh to the Cowboys after the Packers win. Holy smokes. Thanks for the super chat, Eva Badger, Ryan Willie. I appreciate all of you. Until next time, which is going to be real soon. Until next time, from all of us at PATC, to all of you, please, you all take great care of each other.